John Legend has evolved from a smooth piano-playing crooner into a driving force in film and television, producing projects like the hit TV series Underground on WGN and the award-winning film La La Land. John is making an imprint in Hollywood on multiple levels. In addition to juggling music and on-screen projects, he also is balancing marriage and fatherhood. I recently spent some time with him in Los Angeles to chat about all of this and much more. Here's our conversation. So last year, I go to New York. Joe Morton does his off-Broadway production about Dick Gregory.
Yes,
so I go there. So I'm like, okay, I see John Legend's name. So then I'm sitting here doing a interview of The House We Live In with Danny Glover. John Legend.
Yeah.
And again, so you made a concerted effort to go beyond music.
Yeah.
But to really, then of course, Underground as well on WGN.
We have Underground. We have other movies in store. We're executive producers on La La Land, and I'm obviously in the cast of La La Land. So we have a few other things our production company, Get Lifted Film Company, is doing. And we're excited. We love telling interesting stories, working with great writers and directors, and trying to get more interesting stories out there.
And there are a lot of folks who've been in music who want to be in front of the camera. But you're doing a whole lot of stuff behind the camera. Where did that originate from?
Well, it started with one of my production partners, a guy named Mike Jackson. He was already working in TV and film. And we had been friends for a long time. And he told me that he felt like I had a lot of influence in Hollywood, particularly because I was writing songs for film and television and making a lot of relationships with people who were making films. But he felt like we could join forces and create some great content. And you know, I didn't think of it as a goal of mine to do that beforehand. I just wanted to be a great musician and focus on that, and I still really do focus on that most of the time. But when this opportunity came around and we started seeing that we were able to get some great films and great TV series put together and work with some great talented people, then we decided to really focus on that a bit, and we made some really awesome things we're proud of.
Well, and the thing I think is important when you talk about this, the ability to utilize your platform and to realize that there are tremendous amounts of stories that no one else is focusing on. And now, of course, with streaming services and, of course, with cable television, of course, the big screen, I mean, at the end of the day, that's a whole lot of pipes to fill with content.
They have, there's so many channels now. WGN America is where our show Underground is, but you know, shows are being put out on Netflix and Hulu and all these other services, and they need content. And I think that's why television and the related streaming services have been such a kind of bonanza of really interesting content lately, is because there's so many opportunities for creative people to make interesting series and interesting projects that it's been really a boon for that area of creativity, and we've really dove in on that area and had some success.
When we talk about hits, when Underground got announced, folks were going, I don't know.
Yeah.
And you got all these folks sitting here saying we've had way too many slave movies, as if we've seen a plethora of movies about that particular issue. But the response to Underground was tremendous.
Yeah, and I think the reason why it wasn't just a slave show, it wasn't just about kind of wallowing in the suffering of slavery, even though we have to tell that story too, and it's important that we know what a terrible institution slavery was, and that we don't let America forget what happened to our ancestors. It is important that we tell that part of it, but we wanted this show to not just be about that, but to be about the revolution, about the escape, about fighting for abolition, about America's first integrated civil rights movement, the abolitionist movement, and the Underground Railroad. And we believe that story would be something that would be inspiring for people. The courage of the folks that resisted and rebelled would be inspiring for people, and I think it really has been, and that's why it's caught on so well.
What is interesting to me, it isn't just the projects, but it's also the reaction from the audience, especially African Americans. I mean, I keep telling folks, there's nothing like black love when it comes to how folks feel. And then if they don't like it, There's nothing like black heat.
and I think social media has been a way of amplifying all that and making the conversation very public. But it's the kinds of conversations that I think our folks have been having all along, but now it's kind of out there on social media. And I think it's really been a force for amplifying the shows when people are talking about it on Twitter, talking about it on Facebook, or wherever they're talking about it. It's been a way to really amplify the effect of the shows and then draw viewers.
What has been that one wow moment for you with one of these television or movie projects you've been involved with, where even you said, okay, this is crazy. This is.
Well, I don't know about crazy, but I mean, I think the most special thing that happened in regards to any of the projects I've been involved with was probably the opportunity to sing Glory at the Oscars and celebrate Selma and celebrate the movement, and then have it get the kind of recognition that it got in that moment. I don't think I've had a more special moment in my career. Singing that song, having the emotion in the room, and then being able to accept the award and say what we said about the legacy of the movement today and how we need to carry that forward.
Let's go back to that, because when I saw, first of all, you guys were cleaning up left and right. But when I saw the amount of time and energy that was put into the set, it's one of those things where you say, y'all know they're gonna win.
And they did it right before they announced the award too.
Precisely. So timing all matters. But speak to that emotion in the room, because as a viewer, we certainly were able to feel it through the television screen.
Yeah. Well, when I look back at the tape, I saw the footage of people crying in the audience, and I didn't necessarily know that when it was happening. But when I walked down, I saw David Oyelowo still crying, and then I saw more footage of other people that were crying, and so it was clear that the moment was really emotional and had a lot of impact on people. And part of what drove it, I think, was the set and having that connection to the Pettus Bridge really helped drive it. And then also one of the things that mattered was a mistake we had in rehearsal. In rehearsal, the music wasn't cued properly, and it cut off at the end, and we kept singing, and we were singing a cappella basically at the end, and I was like, wow, that actually sounded really cool. Let's do that a cappella section at the very end of the song.
Really?
And it just made it even more powerful and more special. And I think that
so
just
that was
drove
a mistake.
Home. That was a mistake in rehearsal that became an arrangement choice by the time we played it live before the show.
See, God has a way of ordaining these things.
You know, it was a perfect mistake.
When I listened to the words of that song, and you looked at that year, 2016, presidential election, last year of Obama's presidency, and all of a sudden we now are in 17. The song, in essence, represented, I would say, a call to arms, if you will, for this generation. Every time I hear comments say, freedom is like religion to us. I mean, that even just that one line absolutely resonates. It's this notion of freedom.
Yeah. And we're still in a battle for that. You know, we are more free than we were when Dr. King marched on the bridge, but we haven't gotten to the place where everybody's free. My organization, Free America, particularly focuses on the issue of mass incarceration and how we treat people who make mistakes, who commit crimes, who get in trouble with the law, and. But that's not the only issue where we should be concerned. We should be concerned about freedom of religion, freedom of the press. All of those things, I think, are in danger right now in the new Trump administration. And so those who believe in freedom, we can't rest.
A peaceful protest turned deadly. 37-year-old black man was shot and killed by Baton Rouge police. His hands are in the air
and you still get shot by the cops.
Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead.
We're not going to let hate define us.
Race is a big part of this.
If truly all lives matter, then all lives need to matter equally.
What we require is action. What we require is accountability. We understand that black lives do matter, and we will keep focused on this issue.
NewsOne Now, every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.